This is the State of the Fan Address presented by pucksandpitchforks.com. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Pucks and Pitchforks blog editor-in-chief Nick Villano, streaming live on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Tonight's podcast, episode 124, is titled Utica Devils, Here We Come, because we'll be talking a lot about the Utica Devils tonight. We got a great guest coming on, talking about the Utica Devils as the the Utica Comets. I screwed that up.
I did that like 6 times in the article I wrote today, so it's fine.
I'm going to get nailed for it on social media, but it doesn't matter. I made the correction. Utica Comets, here we come. We're going to talk about Comets hockey. We got a great guest coming on in about 15 minutes, Ben Birnell of Utica OD Sports. He is a Utica Comets expert. Talking about the farm system, talking about Utica, Devils going back to Utica from Binghamton. And sorry about that for that mistake, Nick. But how are you tonight, Nick? It's less than 30 days to training camp. I'm all fired up. I've been practicing my Devils PA announcing voice. I'm getting tips on Twitter, on my Twitter account, on what I should and shouldn't do.
Little some vocal exercises.
Oh, yeah. It's like, and now, here they are, your New Jersey. And then I'm supposed to have a pause. Devils!
Oh, is that how it goes? I go to the Michael Buffer School. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
That's pretty good, actually.
The Sports and Entertainment Complex proudly brings to you.
Oh yeah,
I can. Anything, so
yeah. Or I could do my Bob Shepard impression. When they're on the shootout. Now shooting, number 7, Dougie Hamilton.
Oh, if we're putting Dougie Hamilton on the shootout, then we're in trouble.
I know. I'm just kidding around. At least I didn't say number 45, Jonathan Bernier, right?
Yeah, if we're putting number 7 on the shootout, we better be in round 7. Like Jack Hughes and Nico better have gone, and Jesper Bratt and Tatar. Yeah, it's. But yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of fun things happening. There's the PA announcer search. There's the Utica Comets announced the jerseys today, which got me inspired to talk a little Utica.
I saw that on pucksandpitchforks.com. Explain. Yeah. Explain. Yeah. I want to hear more.
Listen, those jerseys are it's this. They just took this off and they put the Utica Comets on that. Which is fine because that's exactly what they did for the Binghamton Devils one. But I thought the Binghamton Devils logo was baller because it was kind of new and different. The Utica one is literally just taking the Utica Comets and making it red and black. I thought that it would be cool if they did something like how the Lightning did with the Syracuse Crunch, where you have the same exact color scheme, but you kind of like change up the style of the jersey a little bit. And then I'd be more motivated to buy maybe an Alexander Holtz jersey. But we're going to get into, with Ben Birnell, just kind of what he thinks the Devils need to do in this first season to kind of, change some fans' minds. They've been Vancouver Canucks fans for so long. But speaking of jersey, before I talk about Utica, I want to talk about jersey ads because this is the big topic in hockey, right? The reports say that the Devils, the NHL, is in talks and apparently has confirmed that they're going to add jersey ads, not next year, but the year after. I'm going to put it right here, right in this little spot right here. I feel like with the helmet ads, I feel like nobody was going to care. You could put whatever the heck you wanted on there. I feel like with the jersey ads, you got to be a little bit more selective, especially with hockey jerseys. The basketball jerseys, the NBA added some jersey ads. I think Wish is the Knicks one. But like nobody wants to buy a jersey with McDonald's on it, or like, you know, trying to think of like nobody like you don't want an IKEA jersey or a Walmart. You know what I mean? A Walmart jersey. Like you got to. I feel like you got to be very careful with that. Like the helmet ads kind of do whatever because like nobody buys a helmet. I'm not buying a helmet.
I got a good logo. You know what?
Okay,
You know what? If I remember correctly, I think it was Joshua Harris's old company, Apollo. They bought Twinkie. Remember when they bought Twinkie? Yeah, I think they bought Twinkie. Remember there was this like union strike amongst the confectionery bakers?
Yeah, I remember that.
and then they said, Twinkie. Okay, well, if we can't make a deal, we're just going to go bankrupt. And I think Apollo bought Twinkie.
Oh, that's funny.
And then
because Twinkies went away. Like they stopped selling Twinkies for a hot minute, and then they came back. Yeah, that's right.
Devil dogs. Steve Tardis says on the Facebook Live.
Ooh, little devil dog. Here, how about this?
Yeah,
because I wrote about this. I wrote about what I wanted. Oh, David Decker said Toyota. I feel like he's very non-biased when he brings it up, David Decker. So this was my idea. Was I told you about a couple of my ideas, but I don't want to spoil the whole article. How about Edison bulbs? It's very New Jersey. Maybe you get like Home Depot to pay for the sponsorship, but you make it like an Edison bulb on the jersey. So it's not like you got like a Home Depot thing on there, but you got like a product, and you get a little creative with it. And people are like, "Oh, what's that on the jersey?" It's like I said, "Oh, Home Depot pay for an Edison bulb." So every time it happens, you got to explain it, and that's great advertising. I should be hired. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you should. Nick. I'm going. You know what I'm doing? I'm going to pull up a graphic. What I think should be on the Devils jersey. Hold on one sec here. Doing a little.
Ray Leo
on the
thinks
Facebook
it's going
Live.
to be Prudential. I think if Prudential has the helmet ad, I don't know if they're going to also get the jersey ad. So maybe they'll. Matt Junio wants the Let's Go Devils podcast to sponsor the jersey.
Matt Junio, I was just about to put it together. Can you just be quiet, Matt Junio? You spoiled my spot. I was trying to race to it. I didn't prepare this. And okay, no problem. I got the graphic.
I still want to see it. Where is it?
Okay.
Where is it? Show me the jersey.
I'm putting it together. All right. So for those that are listening in their car on the podcast, the audio version, you won't be able to see it. So we're going to describe it. Right now on the screen, I've got a generic Devils jersey made by Fanatics, right? So if we have about, what is it going to take, $10 million to sponsor the team?
It's 2 to 3.
2 to 3. All right, so somehow we're going to have to raise that.
We'll take it out of our jet fund.
Well, yeah. So this is what I'm going to do. Hold on a sec here. I'm going to I'm doing a poor job trying to describe this. So let's see here. I'm going to get the Devils logo. Guys. Oh, hold on a sec. All right, so I'm going to resize this jersey. Hold on a sec. Hold on.
I don't think they'll let us do this, Sam.
Yeah. How about we put it like right there on the top right-hand corner. Is that coming up on the screen? Should be.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, Let's Go Devils podcast. Yeah. Cover up a little bit of that black. Let's. I mean, we're paying $2 million for this thing. We'll put it where we want.
Yeah. That's. I'll tell you what. If you're paying $2 or $3 million, I want it beyond that. What's the regulation? 3 inches, 3 by 2.5 inches, or whatever
we
like
call
that.
The shots here, Sam.
Yeah, and on top of that, if you and I win the lottery, okay?
Oh,
you're gonna love this. There's gonna be a little bit of an extra on this graphic. If and of course, when we win the lottery, we're gonna blow the whole thing on the New Jersey Devils. 1 year, 2022-23 season, right?
Let's not do that.
Oh, let's get the Pucks and Pitchforks blog. Hopefully, I don't have to. I'm sure Fansided would like that, and have it like in the bottom right-hand corner. How about that?
Oh, there you go.
How about that?
Look at this.
How about that jersey?
Look at this.
Isn't that something?
I would buy that jersey. Would you guys buy this jersey? You should all buy this jersey. This is a great jersey.
Oh,
And,
absolutely.
and you know what? It's 2 red logos, so it's not like it's going to start looking like a race car.
Yeah.
So all you people complaining about race cars, don't
Yeah,
worry
I
about it.
think that is a great jersey. To tell you the
It's a good
truth.
jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's go
it's a good
back.
jersey.
Oh, yeah, it's excellent. You know, if we have to make some knockoffs, we will. But if
Oh
we
boy.
had the money to pay for those logos on those jerseys, I mean, I would, but we'll have to make some money first. We'll have to raise some money.
Yeah, we gotta work on that, Sam. But that's okay. We our guest is coming up in a couple minutes, but yeah, I don't think the jersey ads are going to be that bad. I think they're going to be. I think we're going to eventually forget them, just like we forgot, just like with the NBA jersey ads, we forget that they exist. It'll be interesting. The choice that I'm looking at is whether, like, if you go to Fanatics and buy that jersey, whether it's going to be on there. I'm curious if that's how they're going to do it, or if they're going to do it more a clean jersey. I don't have a recent NBA jersey. I haven't bought one in a while, so I don't know. Do you know if they put the ad on it?
You know what? I don't know. I know soccer does. You know, like
I mean, you kind of have to with soccer because it's like the crest, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I just don't want it to become a meat market. I said this on
Yeah.
the Woo Report that I'm okay with it as long as it's tastefully done. Now, when I say that, it's so subjective. When you say tastefully done, who knows? But
Yeah.
look,
There's no logo on the Fanatics site. I'm looking right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no logo, so I guess they don't sell the advertisement like that.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. I don't know. So let me get our next guest. Social media is humming. Why don't you get to it, Nick?
Yeah, Matt Junior says he's going to buy that knockoff. There's people calling for a Let's Go Devils skybox night. I'd be down for that. Let's. I'm still, the pandemic got a little too pandemic-y, so we're trying to wait for that to tamper down before we make any plans on what exactly we're going to be doing. As far as theme nights, as far as going up to New Jersey, going up to Utica, and I kind of want to put the Riveters down too, and kind of make that just a 3-game weekend and just go crazy. So we'll let you know when we're gonna do that. We'll have you guys follow us around. Maybe we'll just get a bus. I remember back in high school. Funny story. I'll make this real quick, but we were the Raiders. And we had our Raider Nation, and it got pretty big down in Toms River. And it was probably like 150, 200 people. And there was talks of getting a bus and spray painting it black and silver. So maybe we could do something like that. Maybe we could get a bus, spray paint it black and red, and maybe we could pay for it by telling the Devils about it and have them doing a feature on the MSG network about it. See, look, I'm full of marketing ideas. I'm just banging them out. Ray Leo, someone, most likely Arizona, is going to do something that looks totally egregious. Yeah, Arizona is going to sell it to like the highest bidder. Arizona will sell it to, a hot dog manufacturer, the Oscar Mayer Coyotes. There you go. Arizona is going to do something wild. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Was part of the Devils fan club back in Larry Hirsch days. Steven Tardas. Yeah. So the jersey ads, they've never. I think it's a lot of nothing until we see exactly what they are. Until we see exactly what those logos are going to look like and how big they're going to be and kind of. I think we already know. I think they're going right here. I think they're going kind of similar to where they are in the basketball jersey realm, but I gotta see it. I want to see like what is it. If it's egregious, then we can have that that conversation. And Steve Tartos says the skybox is more doable than a bus, also less of a money risk. Yeah, but how are we gonna get from game to game, Steve? We gotta have a way to get to Utica. We gotta have a way to get to wherever the Riveters are gonna be playing. So I know they're kind of bouncing around between arenas. So I got to see which game that we're going to go to and kind of match them all up. So it's exciting. I'm excited about the season. Everybody seems to be really excited about the upcoming season. It's only August 18th. We got a month until training camp starts, but people are starting to really get that excitement going. And it's because the offseason excitement is worn off. I don't know what's going on with that extra winger that we've been talking about. I don't know, Vlad Tarasenko. The smoke is completely out by that guy. I don't know if the Blues are just going to eat it and just play him this year, or from what I hear, I know Elliot Friedman has reported on this. People are really worried about that shoulder. The medicals don't look great. The two biggest names on the trade market at this point in the offseason, one is Tarasenko. He's got the bum shoulder, and people are worried about it. And one is Jack Eichel. We've heard everything about that neck injury. And, people are – I'm sure that people in Buffalo and St. Louis just want it over. They just want this saga to end. They want to think back to happier times with these players, but this dragging it out, these ownership groups, and I get it. You want to get their number, and especially for Eichel. For Eichel, it's weird because it's a neck injury. Those neck injuries can make or break careers. And I listened to that podcast with Elliot Friedman where they talked about the difference between a fusion. I believe it's like basically a replacement. And the quick recovery time against a much longer recovery time, the quality of life about it. So I get where Eichel's coming from. In terms of the Blues, and that's where you're more interested, the Tarasenko thing, it just sounds like he thinks that the Blues kind of messed things up there. But Sam, you're back.
Hey, I'm back. I'm sorry, Nick. I'm having technical difficulties with our phone system, so I just came back to just let you know about that. Somehow it's not turning on, but if you want to continue, you may. I'm going to try to fix this thing.
Keep talking, and you see what you can do.
Yeah, let me do that. Be right back.
Okay. Steve Tarter says he wants Tyler Bozak on a 1-year deal. Yeah. I think Bozak would be a fine player to have. They could use that 3C. There's a lot of options to put in that third center position. You got to kind of – I would love to give a look to Dawson Mercer, but I do think he's 1 year away. I think he looked really good in junior last year, but I think he could use a year in the AHL, kind of see what it's like to play against better competition. And what was he in the WHL? The juniors in Canada were so weird last year. Like the OHL never played, and it was a wild year. So I don't want to discount what he did, but at the same time, I don't want to put all my eggs in that basket. Then you got the Pavel Zacha possibility, where you can just put him at 3C. They've tried him at center basically every season since he's been in the league, since 2012, or not 2012. That's way too. 2016, and I think that it's an option. It's absolutely an option. You try it out, but if you go into the year thinking he's going to be your 3C, that's going to take away from the depth at wing. Then you're going to have to rely on someone like you need Nolan Foote to break out, or you need Graham Clark to play out of his mind, or you need Alexander Holtz to be ready now, and he didn't look ready last year. So you put yourself in a position, you put yourself in a similar position that we saw in 2018, going into the 2018-19 season, where you just doubled down on John Quenneville. You said, he's going to work. He has to work. And he didn't work. He wasn't an NHL player. He never really made it. Hardworking kid. Really good in the locker room, really good attitude. He did all those prospect development camps, but he just couldn't do it in the NHL. And now you're in a different position now because you have multiple options, but none of them have proven to be like they're going to be an NHL player. Even like throw Tice Thompson in there. We got I think it was 6 or 7 game tryout last year, and his advanced numbers look awesome. But his finishing ability wasn't there. He had 1 assist at 5, or I think he had 1 assist overall in 7 games. the offensive stats look good, but his line wasn't finishing. Maybe it's because of who his line mates are and kind of how that worked out. But, it's funny. I did write an article this week about the prospects that could make the jump into the league. And Thompson was on there because when I look at it, he had the second best Corsi 4 percentage on the team next to Jack Hughes. This is a 7-game sample size, though. So I don't want to put all my eggs in that basket. I don't want to overrate what that is, but it's a situation where he had to get sent down. Like, things weren't – there was a reason why he wasn't finishing. And Sam is back again.
I'm back.
Oh,
I hope this works.
Oh, boy.
I hope this works. We haven't tested. Hey, I rigged up a contraption. I apologize to our guests, Ben Birnell of Utica OD Sports, talking about Utica Comets hockey. You can find him on Twitter at OD_Birnell. Ben, you're on with Sam and Nick. How are you, my friend?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Not doing well. Just kind of taking some time to recharge here a little bit before everything kind of gets going again. How are things with you guys?
We're great. We didn't get bothered on our vacation tonight, so I really appreciate you coming on. Ben is calling us from his vacation, and but he's got to take a little time out to talk about Utica hockey. Isn't that right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've always got a little bit of time to talk about Utica Comets hockey. That's for sure.
So let's talk about the Devils' move. Well, first of all, did you see the jerseys today? What are your thoughts on the jerseys?
Yeah, I actually did see the jerseys. I kind of knew, kind of going in, just kind of based on the affiliation and things that I'd kind of heard that they'd probably be similar to New Jersey's jerseys, with the kind of the scheme that with the shoulders and the kind of the white and black on the elbows and stuff like that. So not too big of a surprise for me in the way they looked. I think the logo, that shield logo that the Comets have has a nice look to it, and they've had it since they began play back in 2013. So to see that still around and on there too, I think helps kind of branding. Definitely a different kind of look going from Vancouver to New Jersey. So it seems like there are people that are excited about it, and some that maybe aren't as excited about it. But I think that's kind of par for how things go with jerseys sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was a little bit of a safe move, but sometimes you got to go safe, and they went safe. And like you said, it's still a baller logo, so it's fine. But let's move on to kind of the team and kind of the expectations, I guess. The move didn't come without controversy. Obviously, whenever a team moves, there's not a lot of people don't focus on the good of where they're moving. They focus on the upset people that they're leaving. But you're in Utica. It was kind of probably very crazy over there. You had the affiliate with Vancouver. They leave, but you immediately replace them with a much closer affiliate. So my question to you is kind of like, well, what was your initial thoughts when you heard that the Devils were changing affiliates and going to Utica?
My first thought was, well, there's some kind of history there, being that New Jersey had been, the affiliate in Utica from 87 to 93. And, you think of some of the guys that kind of passed through, and, Herb Brooks was a coach briefly for, the Utica Devils. So it was kind of those things that immediately came to mind when, you hear that New Jersey's moving in. It wasn't, I guess, completely surprised Vancouver, decided to go closer to home. I mean, you've seen that kind of happen with other affiliates, and there's been a move to the the West Coast with some of those teams and everything. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of kind of when, just because they're the lone West Coast team that had still had a East Coast affiliate. Obviously, now you look at Seattle, and they have kind of a dual affiliation with Charlotte for the upcoming season, but that'll change once their AHL affiliate gets going there in Palm Springs. But I'm hopeful that the affiliation with New Jersey maybe goes a little bit smoother. Given their recent history. I mean, I know there are people around Utica who are aware of the previous history between the organizations, and I think things are a lot different than they were before. There's different management, at both teams in Utica and New Jersey. So I think you have to kind of look at it, as kind of a fresh thing, but also have to keep in mind there have been previous stops that haven't gone, I guess, as well for whatever reason. For in Albany and in Binghamton, you'd like to see those towns get AHL teams back too. But for now, it's New Jersey and Utica, and I like I said, I'm hopeful that it goes well, and it obviously a 10-year partnership. You'd like to see that be completed, the full deal. So you never know with how things go. Things can change, and we saw that with Vancouver this year. They had just recently signed a longer term kind of agreement, but there were options to get out of it. So they took that option and went back closer, and good for them. Hopefully, they're embraced back closer to home too. Utica fans are big into hockey here. They're knowledgeable and love to root on a winning team. So, to be interesting to see how things progress as this affiliation with New Jersey goes.
Yeah, and that kind of goes into my next question of what do the Devils have to do to get these? These are fans who have been rooting for Utica and in terms Vancouver because they like to root for the players that they've been rooting for a couple of years now. What do the Devils have to do? Is it just simply like they're going to root for the guy that's there? Or do you think the Devils have to do something to get this fan base on board?
I think winning certainly helps, and having an exciting team. Obviously, the winning is, something that everyone kind of looks for, but I think people are aware that, there is a development side to all of this, and, they're interested in seeing how those guys progress and, take pride in saying, hey, that guy, made a stop in Utica on his way to the NHL and is playing for, the Devils now. So, I mean, people still talk about Martin Brodeur, making, playing a year in Utica before going on to, big things with the Devils. So, they still look at, guys in Vancouver and are excited about, those guys and what they've done. So I think if you can find a formula that includes winning and an exciting team, and at the same time have an affiliation that seems to work, and New Jersey officials, try and help the product that is in Utica, I think would go toward helping, win some of those people over. I think there are a segment of fans who maybe are a little bit apprehensive knowing that, the Devils left abruptly, with the affiliation in 1993. So it's possible those people might take a little bit longer in terms of, maybe embracing it. But I mean, I know there are still Devils fans in the Utica area. I mean, it's a situation too where you've got a lot of NHL teams, not that far away. So you've got rooting interests for, Buffalo and the Rangers and the Islanders and the Devils. So certainly interested to see how it goes. But I think it certainly helps to having an affiliate that is closer and in the same time zone rather than, previously with Vancouver, which was a couple time zones away. And, their games maybe wouldn't start until 10 p.m. Eastern time. And it was a little bit harder to maybe follow those guys. You wouldn't maybe see what they did till the next day. Whereas now with this affiliation, you can kind of see it with those 7 p.m. starts and kind of embrace it a little bit more.
So you talked about winning, and you talked about that's the easiest way to get people here. So when you look at this team, there's a lot of exciting, and you talk about an exciting product on the ice, and I feel like that the Utica Comets are going to be that next season. There's a possibility of Alexander Holtz, Dawson Mercer, Kevin Ball, Michael Vukašević, and going down the line, and Graham Clark is somebody who played really well for the Binghamton Devils last year. Who are you excited about? Who are you excited to see this year on the ice?
Yeah, I've kind of looked through some of the names, and Graham Clark's one of the forwards that I think people are looking for big things from too. And I know there's a couple guys on the back end there with Vukojevic and Kevin Ball. I think those are a couple guys that I'm interested to see how things go. Being that last year, the Devils officials had kind of said this was more of an opportunity to try and get those younger guys on the ice and maybe not take a focus where, they might be trying to have more of a winning culture, if that makes sense. Obviously last year with the 2021 season was vastly different, and we saw that even in Utica with, their pause with COVID-related, cases and everything. So certainly took some wind out of their sails and had to navigate through that too. So you can't, I think, discount also having Kevin Dineen move over into the head coaching role for the Comets. I think that's a big boost to have a guy with that kind of resume, both, as a player and then as a coach coming over from San Diego. Seems to have a good track record, with everything I've seen in terms of, personality and coaching some of these younger guys in helping them, get to the next level. But certainly, I know that there are a number of young prospects that people are excited about and hopeful that things pan out, as New Jersey tries to get kind of back on track here and push for a playoff spot after some tough years here. So, another guy too, I think, forward Nolan Foote, just because you look at that name and you say, okay, you've seen what his dad has done. Obviously it's a different position, but, like to see Nolan Foote. And then obviously you've got, 2 young goalies too. And certainly that can take a little bit of time because, as officials have said, goalies take a little bit longer to kind of progress and develop. So certainly a number of young guys that I would imagine will get some good ice time and learning experience in their first year in Utica.
Yeah. No, I like that you brought up Dineen, because that's definitely like an important factor in all this, is just getting a brand new head coach, it's basically just wiping the slate clean, basically. You're going to have a lot of a new roster. You're going to have a brand new head coach. You're playing in a brand new city. And kind of one of the things that that they added is a lot of vets. They added a lot of older AHL players that are coming in. They know their role. They provide a veteran leadership to that team. So it's not like, a bunch of kids running around doing this. So what is the importance of that? What is the importance of having veterans on the AHL roster, especially for these kids?
Yeah, in talking to, Vancouver officials and kind of the vets that they had brought in, it's kind of to help them insulate those younger players, as they learn and kind of grow their game, as they move from, whatever level they were at to the professional level. It's a big jump to go from, say, junior to the AHL level. You go from maybe being the oldest guy in junior to being the youngest guy, and you're playing against competition that's maybe 10 years, 15 years older than you are. So it certainly, I think we saw that with prospects from the Vancouver system. It took them a little bit of time to try and navigate things and learn that, well, maybe the thing that you did in junior that worked isn't quite going to work in the AHL. So, like you said, you've got Chase DeLeo, Brian Flynn, Robbie Russo on the back end. Some of those guys, Schmelzer too. Obviously, I know he's been in the organization for a while. Having that leadership group and from all accounts, what it sounds like, those guys can kind of be leaned on when the night isn't maybe going as well for the younger guys, and can kind of help, shepherd them along. And, Chase DeLeo, I think, is one guy that I know in talking to Dan McKinnon, was someone that might be able to possibly push for a spot. We'll see what happens with, training camp and how that goes. But, he could be a guy that, plays top line minutes possibly, is part of that leadership group too. But he's got experience with Kevin Dineen there from San Diego. So, you don't want to discount those experienced kind of players as they help kind of mold, the younger kind of generation of players, especially in a league that, is a developmental league like the AHL, but at the same time, there are guys that are older and have that experience of, possibly getting in some of those NHL games, but also know how to navigate through the AHL, which can be a grind sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the other thing, is that the travel, getting used to the travel, it takes a lot of the junior players, because they play a lot of the same teams in those junior leagues, and they kind of stick to the divisions or conferences or however they explain them in junior, and then it changes. Then you go all across the country. You play basically, it's been different in these past couple of years, but you're in hotels half the night, half the season. So it's kind of a different feel. The last question I want to ask you, and it's one that I'm very curious about for this Binghamton team, is just in net. So last year they had one of Berdore's sons, they had Edwin Cormier, and they had Gilles Sen. This year you have Nico Dawes. I'm assuming Scott Wedgwood, unless they keep him as an extra on the NHL roster, but I'm assuming Scott Wedgwood's going to be down there. And then Akira Schmid, who's playing USHL hockey and was one of the very, very good goalies in that league. What does it mean to have come into the season? You got, like you said, it looks like you have Wedgwood, I would assume, barring injury, barring them wanting to keep him on the roster, on the NHL roster for some reason, so he could at least take a bulk of the starts. But then you have these two extremely young, extremely inexperienced when it comes to this style of hockey. What does that mean for this team?
I certainly think it helps having a more experienced goaltender on the roster. That kind of goes back to the, experienced guys, forward and D. I mean, there's a little bit of a learning curve, as I kind of mentioned. It takes a little bit longer for maybe goalies to develop, and especially, two young goalies that are stepping into the pro level for the first time. I think Utica's been a little bit lucky in recent years in seeing two young guys kind of develop their games in Thatcher Demko and Mike DiPietro. Obviously people have seen what Thatcher Demko has done, especially in the playoffs, 2 years now, against Vegas and kind of a coming out party, I guess you'd say, at the NHL level. I think people at the AHL level, watching the Comets, kind of knew what Thatcher could do because of his athleticism and the way that he kind of studies the game and learns about it too. But he also mentioned, more than a few times, in having a experienced goalie partner in Richard Bachman, who's now the goaltending coach for the Iowa Wild. Richard was a guy that had been in Utica for a few years, and it certainly seemed like Richard was a pretty good mentor for Thatcher as he kind of learned his game and kind of refined things too. And Mike DiPietro had had a more experienced goaltender in Zane McIntyre, and talked about how he helped him too until Vancouver decided to kind of trade McIntyre toward the end of at the trade deadline a couple of years ago. So
he traded him to us.
Helps to have. Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's right. He traded. Yeah,
traded to us for Louis Domingue.
Yeah, so you see all the kind of the more experienced guys that can handle maybe the bulk of the load and even probably try and provide some of that leadership to a younger guy. I would imagine, you never know what's going to happen. Training camp can certainly lead to crazy things, but you would think that you'd probably see Wedgwood down in Utica, and you'd probably see one of Schmidt or Dawes at the Utica level, and then you have another guy go to Adirondack. There's also another goaltender in Mittens who's signed to an AHL deal that could also see time in Adirondack. So it's all about performance and kind of how things go. So it always helps too to have goalies in the system. A few years ago in Utica, they ran into a bit of a problem with injuries and call-ups and everything, and it got kind of interesting at the goaltending level. So never hurts to have options, but certainly when you've got a lot of young guys there like Schmidt and Dawes, helps to have an experienced guy to maybe learn from.
Absolutely. Ben, I really want to thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure meeting you. I'm sure we're going to have you on again to talk a lot of Utica stuff. But before I let you go, I want to give you a chance to kind of promote what you're doing, like where people could find your work and your writings and everything that you're going to be doing for Utica this year and what you've already done for Utica.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, you guys mentioned earlier, you can follow me at OD_Birnell on Twitter, and then the website where my work is the uticaod.com. Certainly follow along on both of those things. Certainly, as the season goes along and we kind of navigate this new affiliation and everything that comes with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, make sure you follow OD_Birnell. He's already gotten a couple pieces. He has a piece on. Did you write that piece on the arena that I was reading the other day?
You talking about the Nexus Center?
Believe so. I read a lot, so
that's kind of been going back and forth recently, but that's been kind of handled by our news side. So they handle kind of the process that's been going through the multi-purpose kind of building that will have some ice and kind of turf, for kind of area teams, and it possibility for a kind of a practice arena for the Comets and everything too. But still some time before that gets completed. It got started, but then various issues kind of halted progress on it. So taking a little bit longer than I think people anticipated, but hopefully they've maybe ironed things out and they're going to be able to get that back on track.
You know what they say, Ben, nothing moves slower than government. But, Ben, thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate you talking with us for a little bit for tonight. And we're going to have you on again soon. Thank you.
That is Ben Birnell of Utica OD Sports talking to us on his vacation. Nick!
I feel important. I feel very important right now.
He's a great guest. Wonderful guest. Great guest. That was excellent. I'm excited for Utica.
It's great to talk Utica. Kind of get a guy who's been there. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not a guy who's moved from Binghamton to Utica who's also trying to find his, what do they say? Find his head from his butt kind of thing. He's been in Utica. Yeah. He knows what he's talking about. He knows, when we go, when this all calms down, Sam, and we go on the road trip and we're like, I want some Utica eats. We know who to call. Ben.
Yeah, well.
Hey, Ben, where are we going out to dinner?
I almost
take Ben out to dinner.
I almost interjected there about how to get Utica Comets fans to liking the Devils organization coming from Vancouver, and I almost blurted out, trade for Hughes, trade for Hughes, trade for Hughes.
Well, that's the thing. The Vancouver fans are in love with. They've been trying to get the Hughes brothers together. They're so jealous of us. They were making all kinds of fake trades to try to get Jack Hughes with that number 1 overall pick. Never worked out. Now we got Jack and Luke.
Let me ask you this.
They're having trouble signing Quinn.
Let me ask you this. Would you trade Luke and Jack Hughes to Vancouver for 10 first-round unconditional draft picks for a whole decade?
Say that one more time.
Trade Jack Hughes and Luke Hughes to Vancouver for 10 unconditional first-round draft picks.
10?
10. A whole decade's worth. Would you do it?
10.
10. With no lottery protection.
So the thing is that you're going to reset the timeline for this team, though.
Oh, I know. But I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm sick of losing, Sam. I'm sick of losing.
I know.
Sick of losing.
I you know what? They should send Pedersen and Hughes our way. We'll take it. We'll gladly take it.
That would. No, if you're talking about like trading like Hughes, I don't even talk about it because I like having Jack Hughes on this team. I like watching him grow.
Absolutely.
I like having him build up, and then everyone is so excited. For his, like, all the analytics people are so excited for his growth this year and so excited of what he can be. That's something I'm going to write about. I'm going to try to write a bunch of articles because I'm going away again. I'm traveling again. By the way, Sam, I had my worst travel experience of all time this past weekend. It was terrible. I hated it. I had to call out of work because they left me in Charlotte. I could have went and go played for the Checkers with the Seattle Kraken farm team. It was bad. But hopefully goes a little smoother this time because I really don't feel like getting stuck anywhere.
Did you fly United? Did you fly United? I hate United.
American. And I'm so mad at them. I do not care about calling them out on this podcast. It rained on me in the middle of a flight. There was water dripping out of the ceiling on one flight.
Yeah. However, if they want to sponsor this wonderful podcast and
they owe me. They better sponsor us.
They fork over $3 million. Guess what's going to happen, Nick?
It's like it's an advertisement going to an advertisement, and it's just like, and then the Devils will advertise with American, so it'll just be full circle.
It would be just like this.
Let's go.
Make it happen.
Yeah, American, you owe me $3 million. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. No, I'm excited. I'm going to try to overwrite tomorrow and kind of spread it out over the weekend so everybody has a bunch to read over the weekend. I want to write a Jack Hughes piece. I want to write a Dougie Hamilton piece. I'm going to kind of dive in a little bit more on those Tice Thompson numbers because they were interesting. Tomorrow, surprising. There was a website that wrote about they made projections of what teams are going to bring in revenue-wise in 2025. Okay. And the Devils were in a surprising spot on the list.
Really?
They were not last in the media market. That's the only clue I will give you.
Really?
So of the three teams, they were not last. They weren't first. They were second. But
what
very interesting.
What website was this on?
It was I had it in my head. It's but now the name is escaping me. I could look it up real quick. Hold on.
Oh, we'll post it. We'll post it on social media pages.
It was bookies.com. So I had booking.com stuck in mine,
Hey,
but bookies.com.
check this out. This is what I look like in one of these fancy jerseys. What do you think? Pretty
You're looking
cool?
good. That's looking good. Look at you.
Yeah.
You're looking good.
Hey, you want to see yourself with one of these Let's Go Devils podcast pucks and pitchforks?
Do I have to center up?
Let's see here. Let me just bring it up. And for those that are listening, move a little bit towards your right. Those that are watching, yep. Those that are watching or listening in the car right now, on the podcast, audio podcast, go to our social media pages. Let's Go Devils, and there's Nick. You can see Nick wearing one of our sponsored jerseys that we dumped.
We got jerseys, baby.
Yeah. I think our best bet to raising that kind of money, $3 million to advertise with the Devils, is one of us has to trip on a crack somewhere and get a lawyer to sponsor us and settle out of court so we can get that money, so we can sponsor the Devils.
Yeah, no, that'd be I'm down to schedule, or I'm down to advertise. Put our logo there, Sam. I'm ready.
Yeah, we're definitely ready. There's Nick back with that jersey again. He's not looking. Anyway, all right. So
I'm setting up future guests. I'm getting you.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting you that good content.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I heard today?
What'd you hear?
You told me a secret today, and I'm not going to reveal
it. You can't reveal that. It's a secret.
I know, Sam, it's a secret.
Why are you ruining? We're ruining the secrets. I got a couple fun announcements for Pucks and Pitchforks that are coming up before the season. But remember, everybody out there, we're always looking for new writers. So apply at pucksandpitchforks.com. Send your application. I'll give you a shot. You want to get some writing reps out? Go ahead. You want to do one a month? You want to do one big feature a month? Go ahead. You want to, do whatever you want. But I'm here. I always love having new people on the staff. I always love having a diverse staff of people. So, if you want to write about the Riveters, I'm here to let you write about the Riveters. Whatever you guys want to do. You want to write about the Devils. You want to focus on the Utica Comets. Whatever you want to do, I'm here to get you, and you get paid when you work for Pucks and Pitchforks.
I know. I'm part of pucksandpitchforks.com, and I know that money is going to go towards sponsoring the New Jersey Devils.
There you go. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to take us a long time to get to $3 million, but it's something. Get a little beer money.
Maybe if I'm able to be the next Devils PA announcer, which, Nick, do you know what I've been doing all day since that contest was released? I'm on the bullhorn. On the bullhorn.
Nobody needs that, Sam.
Just eating up some minutes, but I'm going to. You want me to cue the music, or are we still going to be going?
Can cue the music. I do want to thank everybody because looking at the numbers right now, 18 days into August, and we're already sitting at 245,000 views.
Whoa!
On the 18th of August. So we're on pace. We're gonna push. We're gonna do a nice little hard push towards the end of this. Try to get 500,000 would be hard, but we're gonna try, Sam. We're gonna try. I got a couple good history pieces coming out in the next couple of weeks. I got a lot of ideas. There's a lot of things going on in this here dome here.
Also, I'd like to thank the fans as well. Chartable.com. At one point, and Bruce Driver had texted me that at one point we were ranked 24th of all hockey podcasts last week.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm famous. I'm too famous for y'all now. Not here. This is what made me famous, but I'm too famous for y'all.
Yeah. But
I
would like to thank everybody.
Were you number 24 on the Chartable chart? No, I didn't think so.
No, not at all. They were 23. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Oh, whoa. Hey.
Just kidding. Just jokes. Dropping the podcast at midnight tonight. Go to pucksandpitchforks.com. The show continues. Probably a Woo report somewhere tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, whenever I feel like talking about Devils hockey. Stay tuned to all of our social media channels. Yep. Utica Comets, here we come. Nick Volano, thank you very much. Thank you for everybody listening, watching. Thank you to Ben Birnell. Till next time, let's go Devils.